It's Thursday, December 29th. This is a pre-opening SPY video, a little over an hour to go before the open. You can see after yesterday's big red bar on the downside, our pre-market range is between the blue lines, kind of on the lower end of yesterday's bar, and yet we're going to gap up a little bit, it looks like. I mean, we're kind of skewing towards the upper end of that range pre-market with an hour to go, so we'll see where this ends up. In terms of opportunities today and obvious, setups, there's no real clear signal in play. If you look at the yesterday was really the clearest signal. It was the failure of the breakout of the inside bar to the upside. We came to the midpoint of that bar and moved all the way down. And I was discussing earlier in the week how these double inside bars here, that was either going to be a powerful breakout or a failure. So we got the failure to the downside. When you see a big red bar like this, you certainly expect a little bit of continuation lower. So it's possible we're going to open near the midpoint of this bar, maybe get a red bar to start or fail on the upside. And then eventually come back down to test those lows, but it's hard to say. We're going to have to see, if it's a strong opening and we get a big green bar out of here, the question is, do you want to play a green opening, 15-minute opening, and then a follow through, after this big red bar? Because really the actionable signal here would first be a 2 up, so you'd have to get all the way to the top of that bar, which is not likely, and that would allow the weekly chart to turn green here. That's the purple line. That's the open of the week. Even if you get the weekly chart turning green, you're still not a 2 up on the week. So it's not as if a 2 up bar on the daily chart is automatically going to lead to the a big rally all the way up here to turn the week 2 up. You're still kind of red on the week. So in other words, there's no big actionable signal to the upside, and after a 2 down day, or a 3 bar actually to the downside, while you expect some follow through, it's not really an actionable signal to have follow through. So and since we're starting to the upper end of this range, you're really going to have to break through the bottom end of this range with some strength in order to see some strong continuation, on the daily chart. So it's kind of a tricky, scenario in terms of, maybe a day trade structural setup to go up a little bit. If it does, you'd want to see if we can get all the way to the highs of yesterday, which I don't anticipate. If you get the rollover to the downside, which would be the better bet, just given the big red bar, then look for it to test these intraday lows and see if we can get some follow through lower. But again, no real actionable signal. It's just a question of where opening price structure will lead us. In the bigger picture, again, we're just really inside on the prior week. So you see we had a pretty neutral week last week. So who's to say we can't come to the bottom of that range and kind of come up a little bit and have a very neutral, another inside week, or a very small inside week this week before it's over if we rally a little bit today. So we really haven't had anything going on during the week other than just, a bit of a inside bar and then a failure up to go down. So you would think we should still go lower. On the month, we still have a couple of days left to reach our monthly target, which looks like we're running out of time, but that's still red. This is still red. The daily bar, depending how we open, we might open up and have a slight green. But if we can turn green, to red, then the continuity is to the downside to test these levels. So let's just see what happens. Again, not the most exciting day in terms of opportunities, but we'll just kind of go with the flow. Again, ideally, I think you'd want to fail up here and start to test those lows, but let's just see where price opens.